Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. As of my last knowledge update in September 2021, the Prime Minister of India was Narendra Modi. However, please note that political positions can change, and it is advisable to refer to the most recent and reliable sources for up-to-date information. Here is a general overview of the Council of Ministers in India. 1. Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the head of the government and is appointed by the President of India. The Prime Minister leads the Council of Ministers and exercises the executive powers of the government. 2. Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers consists of senior members of the government who are responsible for various portfolios and ministries. The Prime Minister, in consultation with the President, appoints ministers to these positions. Council of Ministers includes Cabinet Ministers. Cabinet Ministers are the senior-most ministers who hold important portfolios such as Home Affairs, Finance, Defense, External Affairs, etc. They are usually in charge of major ministries and departments. Minister of State, independent charge. Ministers of State, independent charge, are responsible for independent departments and have the rank of a cabinet minister. They have relatively smaller ministries or specialized portfolios. Minister of State. Ministers of State work under the guidance of cabinet ministers or ministers of state, independent charge. They assist in various departments and may have specific responsibilities within a ministry. Please note that the composition of the Council of Ministers can change over time due to reshuffles, new appointments, or elections. It is recommended to refer to official government sources or reputable news outlets for the most recent information on the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers in India. Power of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister of India holds significant powers and responsibilities. Here are some of the powers and functions typically associated with the position. 1. Head of Government. The Prime Minister is the head of the government and exercises executive authority. They provide leadership and direction to the government, making decisions on policy matters and overseeing their implementation. 2. Formation of government. After general elections or in the event of a vacancy, the President of India appoints the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister then forms the Council of Ministers, selecting individuals to hold ministerial positions. 3. Cabinet decision-making. The Prime Minister presides over cabinet meetings and plays a crucial role in decision-making. They lead discussions, seek consensus among ministers, and ensure the effective functioning of the cabinet. 4. Policy formulation. The Prime Minister is involved in policy formulation and sets the agenda for the government. They initiate and shape policies that address national issues, promote development, and fulfill electoral promises. 5. Legislative influence. The Prime Minister exercises influence over the legislative process. They can introduce important bills in Parliament, and their opinion often carries significant weight in shaping legislation. The Prime Minister also addresses the Parliament on crucial matters and participates in debates. 6. International representation. The Prime Minister represents India on the international stage. They engage in diplomatic relations, represent the country in global forums, negotiate treaties, and foster bilateral and multilateral relationships. 7. Coordination of ministries. The Prime Minister coordinates the work of various ministries and ensures effective governance. They facilitate cooperation and collaboration among ministers, resolve inter-ministerial disputes, and monitor the implementation of policies. 8. Emergency powers. In times of national emergencies, the Prime Minister is authorized to exercise special powers. These powers include the ability to declare a state of emergency, suspend certain fundamental rights, and take necessary steps to maintain law and order. It is important to note that the powers of the Prime Minister are subject to constitutional checks and balances, and they must operate within the framework of the Indian Constitution. Additionally, The extent and exercise of these powers can vary depending on the political context and the dynamics within the ruling party or coalition. Thanks for watching. Political Knowledge 8470